Hi everyone, welcome back to another Beyblade Burst Rise unboxing, and for today we have ourselves Myth Odax '05 to open up, and I'm pretty excited about this one because it is a random layer bay, which Hasbro has decided to do their own version of. And yeah, it is a really decent bay in the Takira Tomy version. So we're going to be interested to see just how well this Hasbro one goes. So starting off on the front here with all that nice graphic that they give us on this packaging from this Rise series, and there he is up in the top right there, looking pretty sweet. And over to the back now for our parts listing. So we've got our Odax chip to begin with, and it is a right spinning chip. Then our energy layer, so the Myth energy layer, is an attack type. And below that we have our Forge Disc D55 or 1 dash. And finally, our performance tip for this bay is TH26, or the Hypersphere version of Destroy. So yeah, that's a new one. And then to the right, our stats for the bay. So we've got 4 for runtime, so a nice decent amount of runtime with this, and 2 for its drop-in rate. And that will be it for the packaging itself. So let's get this thing opened up. So there we have it, everything out of our packaging now, and let's start our review with the chip and layer. So here we have our Myth Odax chip and energy layer. So as I mentioned before, this was a part of a random volume release from Takira Tomy, and it was actually really hard to get hold of, and the reason for that being it came completely separated. So the parts came with different layers from the volume, and you would have to get those in order to piece this guy together. And yeah, that was really quite annoying, and I hope they don't do that again. So yeah, it's good to see Hasbro decide to release their own version, and I think they've done a pretty decent job of it. So let's talk about our style here. So it is an attack style, and you can see the indicators for that with these nice big gaps here to the side here. So we'll get some good contact on our opponent with those, as well as these sword sections either side there. They're going to impact an opposing bay really well. And we do not get any metal on this, of course, because it is Hasbro, but on the original, these would have been made of metal, but we only get that nicely silver painted plastic sections. And then on the inside here was an inbuilt weight system, so it's actually built into the layer, and they haven't fully painted that in to imitate that. They've only painted those little sections of it, so that round section and those little ball bearings bits, but that would have been completely made out of metal all along those two parts there. And let's pop that chip out, so get a look at it without that. And I like that coloring of that see-through plastic there. And then in the center here is a fake burst stopper. It is just, yeah, there for aesthetic reason, and it has no function. It's just meant to look like the real thing. I do have one here, so you can see the similarities between the two. And yeah, not bad a job of doing that, and it just finishes off that chip nicely. Having that there, it wouldn't look like Myth Odax if it didn't. And I'll flip that chip over too, so you can grab that QR code. So give you a moment to do so, or you can just pause on the screen, and there we are. And that'll be it for our energy layer and chip, and we'll move on to that forge disk, which once again we've got the 1- forge disk, and this came out with a previous bay in the Rise series, which eludes me at the moment, but it's a nicely balanced forge disk, so it's like a balanced style in my opinion. It's not really too much of a defense style because those points don't stick out too far, nor is it an attack style because of that reason either. It's got a good amount of weight, and as I said, it is balanced well. So yeah, really nice choice, I think, for this. It suits the whole sword theme, and you can add a frame to it as well to give you a little bit of extra attack or defense or stamina. Yeah, and move on to our final part here, our performance tip, which is our Hypersphere version of Destroy, and props to Hasbro for their job of designing this to look as much like the original as possible. Here is the original, so you can see what I'm talking about. As I've got that sort of saw blade design there surrounding the tip, and of course it's not free spinning, it is Hypersphere performance tip after all, and our tip there, so it does stick out a little bit. I was worried about that. I thought it might have been completely flattened off and even up with that surrounding section, but it does stick out that little bit. You might eventually be able to wear that down, and it would be yeah, interesting to see how that would go with that completely flattened to that point. So yeah, that's something which I'm sure someone out there might have done already. And yeah, the rating on this did surprise me as well, with its what I think it was 4 to runtime, because this is normally an attack type bay. It does have an alright amount of stamina to it, even though it is an attack type, so that might be the reason for that rating. But then we've got the 2 for drop-in rate, so they've knocked its movement right down, and it is quite a bit larger, that tip, and rather smooth, so that's probably the reason why we're not going to get as much movement out of it. But anyway, other features are pretty good. All those little star bits, yeah, surrounding that outer part there. And yeah, let's piece this guy together and have a feel of those slopes. We've gathered up all of our pieces now, and on goes forge disc and our performance tip, and here we go. And wow, that was that's really quite loose. Okay, that's not what I really expected from this bay, being or having the reputation that it does from the Takira Tomy version. But you know, I've said it many times before, you can't judge on slopes alone. It all comes down to a combination of everything working together. It does have a nice angle to it though, which you can feel. That wants to slide back down that when you do try and bring it towards bursting. So yeah, probably I would give that about below average just by feel, but we'll see how it performs once it's in the stadium. And let's get that out for a quick test launch. And we're back with our stadium setup, and let's see how we go here. And 3, 2, 1, let's rip. Oh wow, you can hear it run on that tip there, and yeah, getting some nice movement from it actually. So yeah, those ratings are not always the final indicator on how it performs, and we are slowing down a bit, but it's running for what would be considered a halfway decent amount of time here. And I'm not going to run it all the way out, but I am going to switch stadiums to the blue Hypersphere one, because I just want to see how it goes in that for a moment. And we are back with our blue Vortex Climb Stadium. I think Vortex Climb. And we'll see how he goes in this one. I'm going to start doing this from now on, even though we don't have too many more bays to unbox from this series. But 3, 2, 1, let it rip. And here we go. Can he get up there? He does. He gets up in that top section. Actually, went around rather well in that. Okay, well, that is going to be it for this unboxing, folks. I hope you liked the video, and yeah, it seems like a decent bay. Pick one up for yourselves, and until next time, enjoy the rest of your day.